Welcome along then to another big match build-up show, and this episode is sponsored by One Football. Check out their excellent app to keep up to date with the latest news, transfers, stats and scores all in one place. To download the app, click the link below the show. So, it's that wonderful time of the year and Saints are actually giving us some cheer in December. Now, back-to-back wins at the weekend for the first time in 20 months. And Hasenhuttl has employed some belief from top to bottom. So Saints are back at St Mary's this week. However, no festive traditions on Boxing Day this year. We're moved to Thursday the 27th. Just doesn't have the same ring to it. And we play West Ham United. So on this week's match preview show, I speak to our favourite Saints FC Pirates, and Hasenhuttl has got us all in the Christmas spirit. And as for the opposition, I chat to West Ham Fan TV to tell us the weaknesses of West Ham, and it's like music to our ears.
I could hear them singing. I just didn't know what the hell they were singing in true sort of fans way. It was flat as a pancake. But it was what unbelievable. We're singing his name after three matches rather. It's unbelievable, is it not? I mean, what a spirit. And after the game, him going up, picking up over Femi like that, it was beautiful. It was a real moment. And you know, going out on his own to see the fans. When was the last time we saw that? Merry Christmas.
I think a big weakness for us has been when we've been pressed. The teams that press us, right? Watford done it a lot in the first half. After they got their penalty, they was happy to sit back. But until then, they were pressing us. Brighton pressed us. And we seemed to just panic on the ball and start to just like get the ball away and lose possession. So if you guys do come at us and do press us, then I think that could cause us some problems.
So as usual then, this episode is available to download in the card above my head if you're watching on YouTube, or available to download on most audio platforms below. And do let us know if you're listening along or tuning in on Christmas Day. I'd love to hear from you. Ultimately, let's all hope Santa will leave us a late present for us on Thursday evening in the form of 3 points. So welcome along then to our first half of our big match Christmas preview show, and back on the build-up preview this week is William Porteous, our favourite Saints Pirate. Really good to see you again. How are you?
Good to see you, mate. Good to be involved once more. I am good. No hangover this time, so all is well. Well,
hopefully by the time this video comes out on the evening of Christmas Day, hopefully you're watching it then, we'll be well and truly merry this time of the year. But we've got reasons to be merry now. You know, back-to-back wins for the first time in over a year and a half.
Yeah, that is crazy, isn't it? Can you believe that? 20 months since we won away from home. I mean, you know, sat there watching it with Tom Parker from the Saints FC podcast, and I was just, I mean, again, not celebrating the first goal, not celebrating the second, because you know what's going to happen. And then, you know, they get back in it. The third goal, oh, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, then you're allowing yourself to like go a bit mad, aren't you? And yeah, it was a great afternoon, mate.
And we have to let ourselves go as well. We have to enjoy this moment because it doesn't come around very often, does it?
No, apparently not. 20 months. I mean, that is insane, is it not? I mean, and away from home. And I mean, okay, obviously, you know, the Palace was fantastic. And we all really, you know, I couldn't even believe that Palace result. But that in itself against Huddersfield, relegation, like, you know, candidate 6-pointer of 6 pointers. Because, you know, how many times can you say 6-pointer before it gets ridiculous? And under Hughes, it was just never likely we would ever go against our competitors and be convincing enough. And then Hasenhuttl, what has he done? This is my dog, by the way. Say hello to Arlo. He's very jealous. He's a jealous type, but he was happy yesterday, mate. He was howling for joy.
Well, some of our viewers might bark him mad to stay with us over this,
well done,
this
mate,
episode.
Well done.
But you know, the fans went mad in the away end at Huddersfield, singing along to Wham's favourite Christmas hit, "Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart." The very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save us from tears, we gave it to
Beautiful.
I think maybe Tom could probably do that better on the Saints podcast.
I think you probably could. But to be fair, I could hear them singing. I just didn't know what the hell they were singing in true sort of fans way. It was flat as a pancake. But it was what unbelievable. We're singing his name after 3 matches rather. It's unbelievable, is it not? I mean, what a spirit. And after the game, him going up and picking up Obafemi like that, it was beautiful. It was a real moment. And you know, going out on his own to see the fans. When was the last time we saw that? Merry Christmas.
We are loving those glasses, mate. I think you should keep them on for the rest of the show.
All right, yeah, it's probably better for everyone that I do.
All right, I mean, a couple of important players to talk about then, the Huddersfield result, and a player that is, you know, we said he's looked sort of like a reborn man at the start of the season, but really flourishing now under Hasenhuttl. Important figure, Nathan Redmond, a key man again at the weekend, this time with a goal and an assist, following on from his assist from Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, it's just completely indicative of what he is becoming. Okay, obviously, his supply from Højbjerg was phenomenal. That pass is sensational. The pace on it, the accuracy, it's everything you want. And yeah, and that finish into the top right, running onto it, finish it, bang, top right hand corner. Beautiful. You know, we've seen or got used to seeing Nathan coming in from the left or the right and reasonably free roaming positions. But he was way more central for that goal, and it really showed. He just completely forced his way through the middle of the Huddersfield defence like it was just a nice little cheeky little five-a-side game. It was beautiful. What a composed finish as well. And to see a smile on his face like that, what a relief for him and all of us. Yeah, absolutely. And the ball through, like I say, threaded with a bit of pace, you know, and it sort of bamboozled the defender. He sort of tumbled over the ball, trying to kick it out. But Højbjerg as well, he picks up his yellow card. That means he will be suspended for the West Ham match. Yeah, that was a bit of a concern. I remember turning that to Tom and saying, yikes, you know. But I mean, and where he conceded that foul as well was a bit ridiculous. It was a bit of a, what? Down there, your end. I don't really understand why he did what he did, but fair play to him. You know, it is a shame that he has to be suspended against West Ham because, God damn it, we're going to need him. But there is a certain Lamina, I believe, on the bench that could probably do a job. No, I would assume so. Obviously, he was a bit of a doubt for Huddersfield, and you have to imagine he will come back into the side to replace Højbjerg. But you know, perhaps ask the question: who's going to pick up the armband? He's looked absolutely, inspiring wearing that armband over the last few weeks whilst Bertrand's been out. It's probably going to go to Yoshida, if anything, on Thursday. I was going to say, yeah, it's got to be Yoshi, really. I mean, having said that, obviously, I mean, there are people that I don't think you can doubt Yoshi now. I mean, in terms of his ability, I don't think you can doubt him yesterday. Obviously, there's always, there's always a mistake in him. But I think those mistakes are getting less and less glaring, if you know what I mean. It's like they're very momentary now. I mean, even Højbjerg headed across the goal yesterday, and it could have gone, all pear-shaped for us. But Yoshi with the armband, you never know. You know, he had, again, an unchanged team against Huddersfield. And it's really making all the difference. And it's shining throughout the whole squad. And I mean, if Yoshida's not messing up, we're winning 3-1 away from home. Have we already got our Christmas present? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It really sealed our Christmas, sort of, the 2 wins before, and hopefully we can follow up with a third. I mean, 3 in a row. It's a corner phrase from an old Queen song. Is this just fantasy? Yes, mate. Caught in a Hasenhuttl landslide that's going to take us all the way up a mountain, which is obviously impossible, but bear with me. I mean, God, I know we're not going to talk about mad sort of like predictions here, but the rate we're going, and obviously if we hadn't just beaten a top 6 side with a 22 unbeaten record, I'd be saying, well, steady your boots here. But just beating Arsenal 3-2 at home, where we haven't recorded a victory in over a year. Flying team Arsenal, just won away 3-1 for the first time in 400 million years, and played beautifully, might I add. Not like, okay, yeah, we hung in there at times, but like, what's to say we're not going to finish top 10? Oh my God, did I just say that? Big prediction already after 3 games.
I'm not drunk. Honestly, I'm not drunk. I'm perfectly sober. This is all a disguise, you know. I'm just trying to cover up for the fact that I'm seeing double.
I mean, some of the players as well, you know, they like you said, they were unchanged. A reward for their efforts as well. But one more thing I want to add, and sort of we're going back to the old sort of philosophy, the Southampton way, giving youth a chance. And we've seen some of the young players in the matchday squad recently, you know, of course, Obafemi scoring his first senior goal for the club at Huddersfield. And last week it was Tyreek Johnson coming on the pitch for a couple of minutes against Arsenal. This week we see Kane Ramsey in the matchday squad against Huddersfield.
Yeah, I mean, it was alarming, wasn't it? 3 youth academy players out on the bench. You know, goodbye, Elyounoussi, goodbye, Gabardini, isn't it? And God, doesn't he mean what he says, Hasenhuttl? He's talking about academy. It's not lip service. The evidence is right there. You know, we've got our youth team back. You know, we're believing again. All this nonsense about how, you know, youth team players only play when they're good enough. Yeah, but they've got to get the experience. And I was one saying, and I'll hold my hands up this, you know, I've written about it before, saying that, you know, you can't really expect to blood youth team players in a relegation battle. But apparently you can. You know, apparently it's a management's right, and, you know, you're working towards the same plan and the same goal. Apparently you can. And Obafemi, lovely goal. God, he's built like a brick, you know what house. You know, it's unbelievable. What strength and actual, frankly, you know, composure as well. And Nathan Redmond closing down to provide him with the goal in the first place with the assist. So, I'm really excited. And I think, especially over this next condensed period of fixtures, we will need, you know, these players, these youth team players, won't we?
Some fresh legs, and you know, the players look committed now, playing with positivity, with passion, playing for the shirt as well. But we've got to go into this game on Thursday night. Of course, no traditional Boxing Day festivities, but we will have to go into this game at home thinking we'll be favourites of the game. You know, West Ham just coming off a defeat at the weekend against Watford after sort of 4 straight wins.
Yeah, freak result, though. I can't see that they're going to repeat that performance again, because Watford really were sailing through their defence at times. That said, I think Antonio missed an absolute sitter, and Hernandez again was like looking on fire, but it just seemed like things weren't quite right. Watford, they had a great game plan, didn't they? You know, Garcia was like, he knew what he was doing, fire with fire at times. And I think we would be absolute idiots to say they've just lost 2-0, therefore X, Y, and Z is going to happen. We've got the Southampton spirit back and what have you at St Mary's. It's still going to be bloody tough, right? Yeah, I mean, my only hope is that we get an early goal and we do what we've been doing under Hasenhuttl, which is basically getting an early goal and carrying on our way and not grinding to a halt, and we go on and get the second one. Even if we concede, it seems like now we're capable of getting 2 or 3, you know, 6 goals in 2 games.
Well, even if we could fantasize just for a moment more, you know, if we put 3 past West Ham, that's 3 games in a row we scored 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? I mean, there has to be some sort of club record if we squeeze 3 more past the team after like, you know, not being able to score for Toffee. I mean, up to that point, well, I say that we did put 2 past Man United, but I think it's about belief now. And I personally would say, yeah, a sober moment here. It's going to be a tough match. However, I would have said that against Arsenal, and look what happened there. So you've got, you know, it's Christmas time, 7:45 kickoff under the lights. Let's have it. You know, I think we could do some damage here.
All right, so all that being said then, we've spoke about our festivities, the youngsters, but what is your prediction for Thursday night?
So what, predictions? I think 2-0 Southampton, bang, job done, in and out. That said, I'm also thinking another 3-1 or a 3-2. So, oh God, I think Obafemi's going to get another few minutes, definitely. I think Ings was a bit knackered, wasn't he, against Huddersfield? So there's going to have to be a bit of a change there. But Charlie again at home. So Charlie Austin, rather. So at the moment, I'm just wittering on about various strikers and who can score. But I think what I mean by that is that I think Charlie Austin at home, 70th minute, again, I think it'll be, geez Louise, I can't believe it. I'm sounding more and more like you every day. 3-1 to the Saints.
All right, I'll take that all day long, and really good to speak to you again.
Yes,
and
mate.
here's have a little cheers at Christmas time.
Here's to you guys. And happy Christmas, all Saints fans.
Cheers, Will. So wonderful. Thanks then to William for joining us this week, our favourite Saints FC pirate of the internet. And mate, you're going to have to tell us where you found those novelty glasses. They're amazing. But maybe if you want to chat to him a little bit more, head over to his Twitter page, give him a little follow for anything Saints or anything pirate based. I'm sure he'll welcome that. But as it's Christmas, and if you're enjoying the show, do let us know what you're drinking responsibly, I hope. But right now for me, it's a Tiny Rebel Blue Monday Pale Ale. Is delicious, light, citrusy. If you're into your pale ales, then, get involved. Anyway, enough of that then. Let's speak to our opposition this week and find out all things West Ham and how they feel heading to St Mary's this week. So welcome along then to our second half of our big match build-up show, and on this week's opposition view, we've got Dan coming over from West Ham Fan TV. Really good to speak to you again. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, well, so far so good. There was a little bit of a blemish on it yesterday, yes, with the Watford game, but apart from that, I'm enjoying myself.
We're now literally at the halfway stage of the season. This game, of course, no tradition Boxing Day fixture, but on the 27th this year, 19 games played. Summarise it so far. Are you meeting expectations?
Yeah, for me, I think I am, because my expectations were actually that it would take a while to get going. Like, we might have a season where, we're still adapting to the new manager, new style, all the new players. And it might just wait till the second season, a few transfer windows to get to where we want to be. So it's been sort of what I would expect, really. I didn't expect to ever have 4 wins in a row, so that was good.
Yeah, so obviously Saturday's result, Watford sort of ended your run of 4 straight wins, and the headline across BBC said it was woodwork and wastefulness for West Ham. Antonio hitting the bar, hitting the post and the bar as well, and sort of missing from a yard or two out.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. It was so frustrating to watch. We did have some really good chances in the second half to win it, and like I said, it got to that time when Antonio hit the post. I just turned to my friend and said, "It's not our day. It's just not our day. It's not going to happen for us." It was tough, but we didn't do ourselves any favours in the first half, really. So, I can't say that. I think a draw would have been a fair result, but we didn't get it. And
if you're into those sort of the XG expected goals, those statistics, it said I think West Ham should have scored at least 2.5. Watford themselves put away their 2 they should have put away. But, I suppose you've got to be fairly satisfied with the 4 on the bounce. So you've sort of propelled yourself up away from the bottom 3 and looking, relatively comfortable away from that drop zone at the moment.
Yeah, that was actually my target for the season. When people say, well, look, what do you want to achieve out this season? I said, not to be involved in a relegation fight. That's all I wanted. That was progress for me. If we could just avoid being tangled up in a relegation scrap, get some stability, then build on it next season. So them 4 wins have really helped us push away from that scrap, and hopefully we can pick up a few more points just to really get closer to that safety mark.
Of course, 40 points, the safety as well. I think we've got a long way to go till we can even sort of think about that, but we're on a bit of a bounce at the moment as well. But it's been a bit of an injury crisis at West Ham this season. So many injuries, 9 in total, more than most of the sort of league. And based on the sort of last few weeks, you wouldn't notice a sort of hindrance on the performances before the weekend.
Yeah, actually, when you point it out, that many injuries, what we've done is actually really impressive. Some really key players. Yarmolenko was really becoming an important player for us, and Nautovic, our most important player. We really missed him yesterday. You've got Jack Wilshere injured, so some really key players. Now it looks like Hernandez might have something, and then you've got Balbuena, who's been a really important centre-back. So even players that are not injured at the moment, some are coming just recently back from injury. So we've been really unlucky. So to achieve what we have is quite impressive, and I think it says a lot about what Pellegrini's sort of achieving there.
And of course, you spent big in the summer, quite a few signings. Was it 30, 40 million on Anderson, who's starting to become the star of the show, whilst Yarmolenko, whilst Arnautovic has been out of the squad.
Yeah, Anderson, I think, has definitely been. I mean, he didn't get in the game too much yesterday, but I mean, he's starting to finally look like that player that when Payet left, I mean, the board wanted a replacement for him. We got Snodgrass, who actually has been a transformed player recently. But Anderson's looking like that exciting, edgier seat player, you know, and he's got that pace that we've been craving.
And then there's one player as well, you know, who's endeared himself to the West Ham fans throughout his career. I think was sort of nearly record appearances, but plenty of comments on social media the last few weeks asking for Noble to be dropped. I mean, who else would come in, you know, based on sort of the injury list that you've got?
Yeah, that is tough. Our midfield has been actually a weakness for us, and it was a weakness yesterday for us. You know, when Mark Noble's on it, he's brilliant, and when he's not, it's like we've got a big gap in the midfield. You know, so it's a shame. You know, if Obiang is fit, then I'd put Obiang in that position with Rice. He can go. He's a bit better at going forward.
And well, of course, this year as well, you know, no traditional football, but you know, it's going to be a late kick-off, of course, move for TV as well. But how much have you been watching Saints recently? We're on a bit of a bounce ourselves. I mean, how are you feeling heading to St Mary's this week?
Yeah, well, you know, like I've been following your guys' results. I've been watching your channel, you know, just getting the sort of the feeling of the fans and things like that. And now, like, you guys obviously got 2 wins on the bounce. I'm a bit worried, actually, and I think a lot of fans are sort of looking at it. You know, Southampton away, it's not a ground we get a lot of joy at. I think, you know, I was there when we did beat you guys. I think it was like 3-1 or something like that. But yeah, it's not often. So I'm a bit worried. You know, the manager seems to be finally, you know, getting what he wants out of the team. So yeah, you guys could be on an upswing of form there. So yeah, I'm worried.
And 3 wins on the bounce is just almost sort of unprecedented for us really over the last sort of 3 years. You know, that this is the first time we've actually made back-to-back wins since April of 2017. So 4 on the bounce is something that's we're fantasising about. And maybe, you know, miracles can happen at this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, and you got that great result over Arsenal as well, and you know, fully deserved the win. And you know, which, you know, it's not low down teams that, you know, all low down teams you beat Arsenal, which was impressive. So yeah, you've got some, well, it looks to be some deadly finishes, and if he can get you guys finishing, I mean, you know, we had the Fulham game which we won, but their finishing was so poor, you know. So if you actually create some chances and, you know, you're actually clinical, that's going to cause us some problems because we are quite shaky, I think, at the back.
So they're a bit shaky, but you know, is it lack of pace? What sort of weaknesses should Saints perhaps look at and try to exploit?
I think a big weakness for us has been when we've been pressed. The teams that press us, right? Watford done it a lot in the first half. After they got their penalty, they was happy to sit back, but until then they were pressing us. Brighton pressed us, and we seemed to just panic on the ball and start to just like get the ball away and lose possession. So if you guys do come at us and do press us, then I think that could cause us some problems. And then because you guys have got, you know, Ings is in great form at the moment, and, you know, you've got Charlie Austin and things like that. You've got some clinical finishers. You know, you could really do some damage.
All right. So all that being said, then this time of year, you know, we're 19 games played after this game, of course. But what's your overriding feeling? What's your prediction then for Thursday night, the Thursday night's game?
It's a tough one. I'm always 50-50 going into this, but I'll have to go for a West Ham win. I'm gonna give it the old classic 2-1, I guess, on this. The old conservative 2-1 on that. Part of me was thinking 3-2, but without Arnautovic and if Hernandez is injured, I can't see us scoring 3, so I think 2-1.
Well, if we score 3 again this Thursday, then it'll be a 3rd game in a row. We'd score 3 as well, but
which happened with West Ham. We scored 3 games, 3 goals in 3 games in a row. You know, so yeah, it could be repeating our own recent history.
All right, excellent stuff then, Dan. Just remind everybody where we can find you if anybody wants to catch up West Ham.
Yeah, so check us out on West Ham Fan TV. We have fans from all different clubs who follow us. You know, it's not just for West Ham fans. Everyone enjoys it. You can get us at West Ham Fan TV on Twitter and all the social medias. And if you want to follow me, at The Lawless on Twitter. Great
stuff. Really good to speak to you again, mate. And we'll speak again at near the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers, mate.
huge thanks once again then to Dan from West Ham Fan TV. Make sure you check out their page for all their post-match reactions. I'm sure they'll be out and about by St Mary's. If you see them, go over and say hi. And make sure you head over to Dan's Twitter page @TheLawless. Give him a little follow too. Anyway, that does it for this week's preview show. I would like to wish all of you, of course, a wonderful Christmas wherever you are in the world, either to the east or to the west. But thanks very much for watching or listening along. Do let us know your predictions for Thursday night. One thing left for me to say is come on, you Saints. Cheers.